And welcome back to Uncover the Proven Strategies Used by the Wealthy. It's Dan Tatuli, and today we have back with us Kevin Neuber. Now, last time we left off, we were talking to Brian Mandershot, who was showing us the unique crediting strategy that Index Universal Life, IUL, has, and how you can enjoy a portion of the upside gains of the market without ever experiencing those downside losses. So, Kevin, the reason why I brought you back today is I went home, and I was doing some research about these wealth building strategies and how permanent life insurance plays a role in it. And I came across some products or solutions, if you will. I've heard of whole life insurance, universal life insurance. So the reason why I brought you back is I'm wondering why IUL is really the preferred wealth accumulation vehicle versus everything else that we have out there.
You know, this does come up quite often. There's a lot of different products that you can choose from that are out there. And so we could ask, why is IUL the best type of product that you can purchase? So the story I usually tell with this is, for all the viewers, think back to that very first car that you ever owned back a long time ago. What was the first car you ever owned?
It was a little old. It was a 1992 Chevy Corsica.
Now, to you, that was perfectly acceptable. That car got you from point A to point B, which is the bare minimum that you needed back then, right?
Yeah.
But today we have the ability to choose the type of car that we want to drive. And permanent insurance is very much like purchasing a car. You see, permanent insurance is going to get everybody from point A to point B. However, when you compare different types of products, just like comparing different types of makes and models in cars, some permanent insurance products are going to be much more fuel efficient. They're going to be much safer, and they're also going to perform much better based on how much you're paying into it. So permanent insurance is the exact same way. And the way I'd like to get started today is kind of going back in time and talking about the first permanent insurance product that was available on the market, which is whole life insurance.
Okay.
So whole life insurance, I want to kind of just talk about, generally speaking, how this works. So on the left-hand side, what we have is we have the premium and the cash value, so the dollar value, and we have the number of years down here on the bottom. With whole life, you have to pay a fixed amount of premium every single year. And in exchange for that, you're going to get two things. First is you're going to get a death benefit that's fixed, and then we're going to have a cash value component that in the beginning is going to be nothing, but over time it's going to be much greater. So that's our cash value line.
Okay.
Now, a couple things about whole life in general. First of all is that the premium that you pay is not flexible. So there's no flexibility whatsoever. And this is an important thing in two ways. First is that if you miss a premium payment, what happens is your cash value is going to go down, and at the same time your death benefit is going to get reduced as well. So that's the downside of it. Another downside is that in not being flexible is you can't pay more premium in order to make the cash value better. So this is an important reason why whole life works the way that it works and some of the downsides it has. Now, we can make this cash value go up, or there's things that can make this cash value go up and enhance the performance. And the main component that drives what makes it go up is something that's called a dividend. The way that a dividend works is during the year, the clients are going to be paying their premium. The insurance company is going to take all these premiums that the client's paying, they're going to put it into a pool. The insurance company is going to get together, and based on the success of that insurance company, they're going to determine how much they're going to pay back to the policyholder in the form of a dividend.
That doesn't sound too bad at all, actually.
No, not at all. And if the insurance company does well, your dividend's higher. It's a really good concept. The negative thing about this is that we really don't know what determines this dividend. We don't know how the insurance company derives to this number. You get a statement at the end of the year that tells you what your dividend is. This is sort of like going to the car dealer. So think about going and purchasing a car. You go to the car lot, you walk around, you find a car that you're interested in. You're talking to the car salesman, and you ask if you can open up the hood and look at the engine that's powering this vehicle. And the car salesman comes back to you and says, no, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to open up the hood and see what's going on inside. Is that a kind of car that you're going to purchase?
No, not at all.
And that's really what's going on with whole life insurance, is really you're trusting the insurance company that based on their strength and integrity and all this, that they're going to do a good job paying this dividend every single year. So lack of disclosure is a key thing that makes this a less attractive product. we're not able to compare products or companies between each other and see what engine is going to be more powerful or more efficient than the other. Now, I can tell you how the dividend payment works, and that's what I'm going to do next, just so you understand how it does work. So first of all, we have the premiums. These are all the premiums that are being paid. And added to that, we're going to have a mortality credit. If the insurance company does well and not a really high mortality rate, they're going to credit back to you a mortality credit. They're going to give you an interest rate based on whatever they earned for that given year in their general portfolio. Then they're going to take a couple things out. The first thing they're going to take out are expenses, and these are expenses unrelated to cost of insurance. So if the company is going to pay out bonuses or develop a new product or buy a new building or something like that, company expenses. And then lastly, we have the change in the company reserve. This is an important piece too. You see, insurance companies with whole life have the ability to keep more money on the book and pay less to the policyholders in order to make their financials look better on paper so that they can look and appear really strong.
So this is the calculation of how those insurance companies get a dividend. It's just that we don't know what each value is.
Yeah, on your statement, all you're going to get is a dollar amount of the dividend. You're not going to know what these numbers are that determine this dividend. What this means is that you can't compare one company to another and say, oh, well, here's the charges, here's the rates, and here's the expenses that are coming out. This is like not being able to compare the efficiency or the fuel efficiency of an engine for a car that you're going to buy. And that's the major, major downside of what made whole life lose favor in the marketplace. The next type of product that came out that overcame some of these downsides is something that's called universal life insurance. And this is important how it works because this is the basic component of indexed universal life. And the story I usually tell of this is think about your personal checking account. If you have a job where you have direct deposit, where your payroll is going in every month, let's say that you have your payroll of $10,000. You also have all your bills set up automatically to be deducted from your account. So you have your expenses coming out. Let's say that they are $2,000. And whatever excess money you pay into this account, you're going to earn an interest rate on. Let's assume your checking account can earn 6%. It can't, but let's just say it can. This is essentially how universal life works. We have a fixed amount going in every year or every month. We have a fixed amount coming out every month. And in the interim, we earn an interest rate on that money. The nice thing about this which is really important, is this full disclosure. Now we can see exactly how much is coming out every single month and how much interest is being earned, and we can compare one insurance company to another, just like we can compare one car to another to determine which one's going to be more efficient.
Got it. So with universal life, it's that transparency so that we're able to check under the hood, look at those expenses, and really determine which company is going to be best for us.
Exactly. And there's a little bit more to it, and I think this is what this next slide will talk about. But there are some other advantages. First of all, you remember with whole life, our premium is fixed. With universal life, we have flexibility. So we have flexible premium payments. We can pay a minimum and we can pay a maximum. And this is probably familiar from one of the previous videos that you saw, where you'll remember that we always recommend never to pay the minimum, always pay the maximum, right up to that maximum line.
And the reason why we're doing it is to receive all of those benefits that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, in exchange you're going to get the death benefit, the same death benefit, and we're going to have a cash value component, but we have the ability to pay more premium. By paying more premium, we can make the cash value component go up faster. We have more control over that cash value component. The second thing that enhances the cash value is the interest rate that is going to be credited to it. So this interest rate becomes a primary determining factor about what company or product might be better than the other. And so again, we can compare between them. These things made universal life really attractive during the 1980s, but one of these things made it very unattractive the next decade. So this is the history of the 10-year Treasury since 1900. You can see that from 1970, right here, to mid-80s, we had a period of time where interest rates just went through the roof. Now, think of your checking account having the ability to earn in excess of 10 or 12%. That'd be really good. And this is what made universal life so popular. But from the mid-'80s forward, we had a trend where interest rates went down. And now interest rates are somewhere around 4% on these types of products. So the question becomes, with people trying to make money in insurance or earn money in insurance, is how can you get a higher performance than what we can get with this type of product?
And looking at this graph, that's kind of the same time where the stock market was actually going up.
Yeah, so as the interest rates went down, stock markets went up. And that made the next type of universal life become very popular, which is something called variable universal life. And in a nutshell, conceptually, it all works the same except one component. Now the returns, you can invest directly into the stock market. And this means that you can achieve the highest rate of return possible. From the 1990s to the 2000s, we had this period of time where stock market just went absolutely through the roof.
And this is a chart of the historical rates of the S&P 500.
Yeah, this just shows the S&P 500. And VUL during this period of time was extremely popular. But then what happened from 2000 forward, we all know what happened, was we have this period of volatility where the stock market went up and down. And VUL is no longer in favor. This is not something that people use anymore. So the question really becomes is how do you achieve the most return with the least amount of risk during the same period of volatility? And that's really where Index Universal Life comes into play. And that's why this has been such a popular product for the last 20 years. If we look at this same chart, this is a chart that we've seen before.
Yeah, this was the previous video that we were talking with Brian about. This shows a stock market strategy being invested into the S&P 500, which is the red line. And this is one of the IUL strategies that we used in the green.
So here's the stock market up and down, and here's an IUL crediting strategy. And what I'll point out here is a couple things. Most importantly is that when out of the thousands and thousands of policies that we've sold, we have clients call up and thank us for having recommended this product, not for when the market goes up and they're able to earn these really high rates of return. They call us and thank us when they get these 0%, when they don't lose any money. When the stock market goes down 30 or 40% and they get credited 0 and they don't lose anything, that's when this is really, really powerful. We've looked at all the different benefits in previous videos that life insurance, permanent insurance in particular has. But in this video, what we've covered is specifically Index Universal Life and why it's the best permanent insurance product that you can buy. There's 4 real reasons why I believe that it's the best. First of all is that we have complete full disclosure of what's going on inside the policy. We know we can compare one company to another, product to product. Second is flexibility. This is really important as well. We can pick and choose when we can make a premium payment. Third is that we have the highest return for the amount of risk that we take. And then fourth is that the best potential to produce tax-free retirement income, which is what we're trying to do with this. So again, think back to going out and purchasing that car. And now all of a sudden you go to that same car salesman and you can go out to the car lot and you can open up the hood and you can actually ask and see what's going inside these policies. Same thing with Index Universal Life is now we have the ability to go out and purchase the vehicle that we want to purchase, compare the efficiency, compare the safety, and compare the performance between all the different types of vehicles that are out there. And that's really why we believe Index Universal Life is the best.
And this, for my sake, this is all ultimately what we would like to have being in that top 25% is a tax-free retirement, a TFR. So thank you very much, Kevin. And as you see here, Index Universal Life IUL is definitely the preferred vehicle among the wealthy. The next video, it's our last one, so we've invited back everybody. Kevin's going to come back, Jordan and Brian, where we're going to have a group panel discussion and just really, we've seen all these reports, we've seen the indexing strategies, talked about the top 25%, really put it all together and talk to you about what this means and what your next step should be. So if you just scroll down right now, click on the up next, and that's the last video. So thank you very much.